Welcome, guys. The first CorridorCast
Hey,
live.
what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Visual Effects Artists React. That line is so ingrained in my head. I can just say that.
Let's just
exactly
hop into
like
it.
that every
Let's just
single.
hop right into it. Hey, what's up? You always got to throw the clap in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think we need to make this one special. Let's say, hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the CorridorCast after a 7-month break in podcasts.
Yeah, we stopped doing the podcast for a little while. You guys may have noticed, but we're bringing them back. We're going to be trying to do these way more consistently now, and with the whole twist, we're actually doing them live on the website right now. And so if you're a website subscriber to CorridorDigital.com, you actually get to hang out with us while we do these live streamed podcasts. But we're just here to have a good time. We're here to chat.
Yep. You know, we all really wanted to do the podcast again. And one of the reasons I really wanted to do it is I really wanted to sit down and talk about what's been going on at Corridor, because we don't do the vlogs. We haven't done the vlogs in years.
Mm-hmm.
And without the CorridorCast, there hasn't really been a way to easily communicate like just the behind the scenes, the day to day of what's going on at Corridor. And a lot of stuff has been going on. So I kind of wanted to talk about why the podcast went away. I want to talk about why it's back. I want to talk about what's going on with Corridor, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, because we also had, crew cuts, we had dailies, and those also kind of haven't really uploaded in a little while either.
Yep, we tried another show too, Loaded Questions. So let's start with the podcast. Since that's what we're all here for, right? We're all listening to the podcast right now.
Why did the podcast end, Niko? Why did we stop doing it?
So to talk about that story, we gotta go back to 2019. So this is an epic. This breaches multiple years.
Okay.
Set the stage.
Okay. So we're okay. All right.
All right. So 2019, we try a little idea called Visual Effects Artists React, and it blows up. And in 2 more weeks, we try another one, and it continues to blow up. And we're like, okay, let's do this until it stops blowing up. 5 years later, we've been doing them every single weekend.
Crazy.
And it's amazing. Like, I love doing the show. But during that time, another thing happened. COVID. So our channel, it's had its various times when it's blown up. We've been doing it for 15 years. Our channel's blown up multiple times, but it blew up again. And then COVID happened and it blew up even more. And our channel grew immensely. Our team grew immensely.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool. It was a whole bunch of new opportunities, new things we could do, new people to work with. I mean, this whole website came into being. We get to meet all of you guys here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was awesome. But around like November to December of last year, I felt like I had been sprinting nonstop for 5 years straight. Sprinting through launching Visual Effects Artists React, sprinting through trying to run the company through the pandemic, sprinting to try to take, advantage of all the people watching content, sprinting to like build
website exclusives.
Yeah, all the website exclusives, building the website, like, just growing the team at Corridor, all this stuff. It was just go, 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 go. Because everything we had worked for was finally happening. It's like you dream about getting into movies, getting into the business. It's like
It only took a decade.
yeah, seriously. It's like it would be cool if my YouTube channel became a thing where we could make videos and make a living. And that's your dream as like a boy. And then it starts to work. And you're like, oh, I'm getting a paycheck. And then you start to hire your friends. And then now you have a team. And then it grows and grows. And you're like, this might actually be happening. And, we had been feeling like it was happening, throughout the 2010s, of course. But like really towards the end of the 2010s, we had really stepped into our true form. Like we were all professionals. We were all seasoned. Our business had been around for a while. And then React blows up, brings in a bunch of new audience. And COVID happens and brings in a bunch of new audience. And here we are. Everything we'd worked for finally happening. And so in 2023, after 3 years of COVID and all that stuff, I personally was exhausted. And I feel like everybody was kind of in the same boat. Because outside of the Christmas of 2023, we hadn't missed a single weekend of React since we started the show.
Did we not upload a weekend there?
We skipped Christmas of 2023.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And it still haunts me to this day.
No,
And there's also the time we got
it's healthy
hacked.
that we did that. Well, no, we didn't miss it on the website.
Oh,
we
you're
still
right.
hit our
You're right.
weekly upload on the
Still
website.
You're right.
Yep. Yep.
Man. and not to mention all the other like website exclusives we were working on too.
Yeah.
During that time, we were like putting a lot of resources
Functional
and time.
filmmaking, crew cuts,
Son of a Dungeon.
Son of a Dungeon,
was
season 1 and
major.
season 2.
I mean, that Son of a Dungeon took like resources from the whole entire studio to make that happen.
Yeah.
Production.
It was a
and
really
post.
hard production to do. Both of them. Both
Yeah.
seasons.
Totally.
Yeah. And So when 2023 was ending, so on top of all that, there's also the feeling of, this is specific to me a little bit here, but like there's a feeling of like, why am I here? What are we doing? Kind of vibe. Like I knew why I was here and what we were doing, but there was, for me personally, there was a lot of like running the company. Look at this live camera moving around. Christian's working on it.
You're gonna roll downhill.
It starts like slide on the tripod mount. I like this canted angle. Kind of getting into the 90s behind the scenes.
I didn't know you're Dutch, Niko.
So for me personally, like a lot of 2023, especially the end of 2023, not so much the middle, but the end, it felt like I was spending a lot of my time just trying to help everything else in the company run. And a lot of that is, giving creative input here and putting an idea out there. But as a process of that, you don't quite ever get your own baby. Like I got to do Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors 2 and 1. Those are like my babies for sure. Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors 2 was an amazing experience working on that. But once that was done at the end of summer there, like that was like the only project I really did for almost like the entire year, outside of the occasional like crew video things. So I personally was really feeling this like hole of like where my craft as a filmmaker had gone. And I was a little bit distraught about how do I bring this back? Because there's a whole bunch of other people making amazing things at Corridor, but I feel like I'm not getting to make anything anymore. And I'm focused on all this other stuff. So what does that have to do with the podcast? Well,
yeah, what does it?
Time is finite. I should also, on top of this, I have 2 kids, and Sam has 2 kids. And now is not the time to be working late. Now is the time to go home and be with the kids when they are 2 years old and 4 years old. When they're teenagers and they don't want to hang out with me anymore because I do lame things like play video games and be on YouTube. Like, sure.
Dad's on YouTube? Then. Oh, God.
It's crazy if that's going to become lame.
He makes long form videos, guys. Like, what the
Dad's
heck?
not doing any woodworking or like rustic living in the woods. What a loser. But yeah, so it's by that time, like I was personally really tired and I needed to like refocus. And part of that meant coming to work, focusing on making the videos, and then leaving work at a normal time and going home. And doing the podcast was really tough because it would be a 1 to 2 to 3 hour thing that would have to pop up every single week that would kind of put a stop to everything. And when your schedule's already crammed full, it starts to like induce this like panic inside of you. You feel like you probably feel that panic when you're double booked on something.
Oh, all the time.
There's nothing worse than like having 2 entries in your calendar for the same time slot and they're both important. You're like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, we were also just like last year we were all pretty crunched because, we kind of like our staffing got a little bit smaller. We had to start pulling people from the website to work on YouTube videos and whatnot. That was kind of why. Crew cuts went away because I started working with Daniel on all of these scale videos. And Daniel's an incredible editor. He's an incredible storyteller. The crew cuts were incredible. And, I wanted to take that for myself. But like he also wanted to move on from crew cuts. He wanted to do other things. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't usually appreciate is how people in any job want to kind of evolve. They want to do different things over time. And so crew cuts, because of that, kind of went away, and we came back with dailies a little bit. Going back to what I was saying a moment ago, though, is that like our schedules were really packed last year, getting to a point where it's like I'm trying my hardest to finish, the next video about nukes or Attack on Titan or whatever. Meanwhile, we're also still trying to upload a video every single week outside of React. React has its own pipeline.
I thought you were talking about React.
And workflow.
and just like to give some context on the React pipeline, because that is a thing for everyone, even you guys being the talent and having to research ahead of time. But it's like we shoot every week, 1 episode, maybe 2 episodes, depends. And then we have about 2 weeks to put that through the pipeline. Yeah. Really.
I mean, as far as like my time, I say it takes about 20% of my time to do React.
Yes.
So, it's about a half day to actually record the thing and do all of that, and about a half day to like research. It all kind of just accumulates to a point of like lost time and all that stuff. It's about a day of the week for me. And for an editor, it's about a week to edit a React episode. And we try to get at least another week buffer to make any changes or stuff like that. But usually it's like we can edit a video, it takes a day, and it takes a week to edit it. That's sort of our React pipeline.
Yeah.
And that just runs independent
of everything else.
And for the longest time, the React show is entirely why we were able to do all the other episodes, all the other videos on the crew channels. Like, it was doing so well, it didn't matter if one of our other videos went slightly over budget because the React paid for everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not the case anymore.
It's not.
And it stopped being the case, honestly, like a year ago.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Like, that's probably a good thing that's not the case. It means that our business has adapted and it's healthy and all that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, it was tough doing React every week and then doing a crew video every week and then doing the cast every week and then doing crew cuts every week. Like, that's a lot of weekly stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it gets to a point where it's like, I mean, I love doing the podcast. I love sitting here talking with you guys. I love being able to have a discussion that can go out to the world. But there'd be times where I'm like, I don't think I can manage this today. It's going to take, because even if it only takes like 1 to 2 hours to actually do it, the rest of my day after that is shot because it completely changes like my sort of like mental focus. It's like I can't just context switch back to doing more work after that when there's only like an hour left in the day.
It's impossible.
Now, if I'm crunching on a video, that's a different story. If I have like explicit things I need to get done, but it's hard nonetheless. And so it got to a point where it's like everyone was kind of feeling like, oh, I can't really do it today. I can't really manage it. But I think we've now realized that it is worth doing. It is important. And so we're back to doing it.
Well, we've also like, our schedule has changed.
Yes.
You know, we've made accommodations for all this too. And
should we talk about how our attitude and sort of schedule and focus changed going into this new year of 2024?
I think so. Yeah. Let's do it.
I think maybe before that we should talk about what it was like before for like this pipeline, because it wasn't really working having like one person edit the same video every week. You know? Like we had Chase basically as the full-time React editor for a long time. And
Chase is amazing.
Oh
yeah.
He's incredible.
He's a rare talent in that like he loves editing the React stuff. And he really like was able to put the attention to detail into every single episode. And they're long edits and very.
And he's able to like focus and not get distracted.
It is
and
hard.
Be able to just crank all day.
Yeah, Chase is a monster.
And and since he's kind of like moved on to some other like different stuff, because I mean you get burnout.
Yeah.
And like so now basically we're trying to take React and spread it across all of the crew directors. But first let's talk about maybe the crew directors and how we're kind of breaking that out.
Well, yeah. So I mean, I think that circles back to kind of ending of 2023 going into 2024 and thoughts on things. So let me tell you another little story here and then we'll kind of jump into all the stuff. So we've been on YouTube for a long time, 15 years now, which is crazy.
I mean, 14. The YouTube channel started in 2010.
Yeah, 14.
I joined in 2012, which is crazy.
My first YouTube
I've been
channel
here for 12 years
2007, son.
So, yeah.
Some of the people popping into the stream right now are noticing that we have deep voices right now.
Chad stream.
Some filter is on somewhere.
For all of you watching the podcast, hopefully our voices sound normal, but to the website streaming right now, of course, Dobie showed up and shifted all of our voices pitches down by like 2 semitones. So
guys, we've made some changes around the studio, as you can tell. We thought that our voices needed some work, so
we filled the air with sulfur hexachloride or whatever it is.
This is exclusive for you guys live streamers. You guys are getting the voice only.
Website exclusive. They get our voices a little bit more
it's not
rich.
Weird. This is how it was meant to be, okay?
Yeah. And
we spent like 20 minutes before the podcast recording started trying to troubleshoot this, and we decided just like, all right, we're just gonna go for it. So anyway,
so sorry. So we've been on YouTube for 15 years, and there's something that I've seen happen a bunch because a lot of people burn out on YouTube. Most people don't stay on YouTube as long as we're on YouTube. There's like a handful, you know. And there's a thing that I've noticed, which is there's a 3-year cycle when a channel booms to when the person who made the channel feels burnt out and gives up.
Or just their audience kind of moves on.
Exactly.
You know, it's like they burn out because they're not getting the views they used to get.
Yeah. So you're making a channel. It's got something fresh. It's blowing up. People are digging it. They're subscribing. Oh, you're getting the dopamine hit. Same exact thing you get in a video game. You're literally leveling up. You can see your rank change. You can see your subscriber number change. It's awesome. Every video you put out, it does even better. It's exactly like a video game. And after about 3 years, and across the board, this is the number that works across everything. After about 3 years, you've hit everybody. You've hit everybody on YouTube. The algorithm's gotten you out to everybody that you can. And that is the end of your growth. And then what happens? Well, you stop leveling up and your video game stops having progression. And then you start to feel kind of sad. And you're like, man, why am I doing this every week anymore? I can't handle it anymore. I'm tired. You get burnt out and you're done. and that happens in 3 years. So we've been around for 15. So we've personally have had that cycle multiple times, and we had that cycle with React. It blows up, it hits everybody. Yeah. It's fresh, it's new. And at this point, everybody that watches React are returning viewers. Like literally we go on these stats, and for the first like 3 to 4 days, there are no new viewers on React. It is entirely people who have watched the show before, which is funny because when we say like, if you're like, oh, half you guys aren't subscribed. At this point, all of you guys are subscribed. So, the show doesn't really grow anymore. It doesn't get sent out to, new people, which is totally fine. The show does great. It still gets, great numbers, and we love making it. But that's the point that starts to cause you burnout when you're like, we're not growing. We're not going anywhere. We feel like we're treading water, etc. That requires a reset. That requires some time off. And as always, you need to evolve as an artist because the viewers, the audience, you guys don't stand still. You're always expecting something new and something fresh as well. And so if we don't evolve, then, the audience doesn't grow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that 3-year cycle is also due to the audience. Like I get fatigued from content if I watch the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it right now. YouTube keeps serving me the same kind of thing. And I'm like, I need something new.
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, I mean, that's just a natural thing. So yeah, it really is up to the creator to make fresh stuff, to keep hooking people.
So like going into this year though, we had an attitude change, which was we're going to focus on trying to make the best video we can. And if that ends up requiring a little bit more time, we're going to take that extra time, which is why we kind of reduced the output of videos this year, especially like the first half of the year, where it was like, there would be a weekend or two here and there where there wasn't an upload. And it was like, what's going on? Again, not talking about React. And it was because, this video just wasn't quite ready to be to go live yet. These videos take a ton of effort. A lot of the time, especially the videos that I've worked on, they can take upwards of like 4 or more weeks to do. And that's more than just one person. That's, upwards of like 2 or 3 people sometimes. And we're like, okay, maybe the key to getting these views back up is just making sure the videos are good. And if that requires uploading less frequently, then so be it. Yeah. And we also kind of changed our attitude on like approaching which videos we would do, making sure that like going into a project, we knew exactly what the marketing was going to be and whether or not everything was kind of planned out before we started pursuing the video, because nothing's worse than like making a video and then thinking about the marketing at the last minute. And then it bungles the whole thing because it's like not a good thumbnail or not a good title. We like the idea behind the video, but it doesn't matter if no one watches it. And so we've tried to kind of, and that's something we've always kind of tried to do over the years, is like make sure that there's like a good title and thumbnail going into a video, but we never really made it a focus until this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would definitely bite us in the butt because there's nothing worse than having a video finished and then being like, wait, how do I market this? Like,
how do I try to get people to click on it?
And it's like Friday afternoon.
Yeah, it's Friday afternoon. Everyone has a different idea. And then you choose something that no one really like thinks is the best. And then the video, doesn't do very well because of that.
Creating situations where it's like, all right, we need a video for this weekend. Or
what's it going to be?
What are we going to do? And so we start trying to come up with ideas that are producible in a few days.
Yeah. But, and I think another thing with that was like, we'd have a situation where it'd be like me or Dean or Matt would like film the crew video and then hand it off to an editor. And they'd have to cut through that, in like a week. And there was kind of a difference in maybe vision, non-unification there. And also like burnout, because it was like Dean would be like 3 weeks in a row, just editing, or whoever would. And I think we found a better way now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the last like 2 or 3 months, things have been going really smoothly.
Oh yeah.
And because we now have like a process where like we've got like, how many main editor people do we have now? 4?
So I'm really just calling them like crew directors, because it's like everyone's wearing all these hats, right? You're shooting, you're editing, you're producing. Like, so it's Dean, Austin, Matt, Daniel, and myself, I think are the 5 right now. I kind of float in between and kind of facilitate more like scheduling and
But the idea is that like every week an episode of React is being edited, and that is being edited by one of those directors.
Yeah, which is really cool.
So each director is able, like, all right, I get to spend a bunch of time working on this project, being creatively fulfilled, collaborating with someone else, usually Niko, myself, or Sam, or you.
Or Jordan.
Yep. And so that's kind of how it's been, is like we have the crew director and their main like sort of collaborator.
Yeah. And it's really nice because like say it's the beginning of now my creative video block, and I can just get together with you or Niko, and it's like, what do we want to work on for the next 4 weeks or however long? And we can just kind of like be set. Yeah, it's 3 to 4, you know.
Yeah.
Usually we try to give for a video now. And I don't know, that just like, it's nice to know like I just have a month to make a really good video, you know, and that's all I need to do. I'm going to shoot it, edit it, take it to completion. It'll be a unified vision. We know what the video is going to be from the beginning. And I think we're getting some really good stuff from that. And then after that, it's like each director gets to spend a week editing our most, you know, popular show, the React show.
And you get some variety.
You get some variety in the edit style. I'm sure you guys have noticed there's a bit less consistency now in the edit because everyone is really injecting their voice. Like when Daniel takes an edit.
Oh, you can always
like
tell
you can always tell
edits an
Daniel because
episode.
he's inserting like movie references and stuff, you know? So everyone has their own style.
Daniel
And
loves to add in those like little 2 or 3 second asides of just some movie clip.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. I think it keeps it a little bit more fresh.
It does.
And also like it keeps it fresh for us as well.
Well, that's the thing, you know, we kind of noticed, like Wren was saying at the beginning of the year, we're like, all right, we're going to just chill. We're going to make the best videos we can. And we're going to take the amount of time we need to make them, which is great for not burning out because then you can take the time to think and to explore and to try and experiment. So that was really good for refreshing us and letting us evolve. It wasn't good for us you having consistent revenue.
Yeah, that it ended up kind of turning into a separate problem of like, oh, like our views are up, but there's fewer videos, so the views are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when you have a team of 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 20 people, you need to be on top of your schedule. You can't actually just let it go willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And so we had our time of like evolution and of like chilling out a little bit. And then we had to ramp it back up. And we ramped it back up. We tried to ramp back up in a bit of a more healthy way that kind of took lessons that we learned from that chill out time, which is, as Nick was describing, kind of this more like knowing you're going into a set time frame, but at the beginning you have time to write and to work on something. You're paired up with people creatively. And that's been really, really helpful. Also, shout out to Casey Edwards. What's up, Casey?
Yo,
Glad to see you in the
Casey.
live stream. Yeah.
His only comment is, the pitch shift is killing me.
Yeah,
Because
Casey, you
it's
have
so
to give me some
awesome
tips,
and we
maybe.
sound amazing and beefy.
Surprise problems.
Yeah.
We're trying to not focus on that right now.
But one thing has happened, which I don't know if people have quite caught it yet because these things take time. But we've been releasing Corridor videos consistently again.
Yeah.
Which is
Have you
kind of
noticed?
like, I think in essence, what it all boils down to a little bit, which is I'm here to make videos personally. But Nick, I kind of feel like you're here to make videos, and Wren, I kind of feel like you're here to make videos, and Christian, I kind of feel like you're all here to make videos.
I like making
Turns
videos.
out we're all here to make videos. And
Video?
reality is, Corridor videos, the Corridor shorts, don't make any money on YouTube. They
Yeah.
make $0. They are entirely
I mean,
fun.
maybe like $3 or $4.
You're right. They make like, actually they make like $300, which is not enough.
They make soul money though.
They make soul money. Yeah.
The soul money.
But they are entirely supported by the revenue that we make from the website and from our Corridor crew videos. And so we've also kind of realized that like if we want to make Corridor videos, which is what we want to do, we need to make good Corridor crew videos that are paired with them. And we need a thriving, robust audience on the website that is there to support us and help us make them.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing we've really tried to do over the summer here. And if you look at the crew videos, it's subtle. But if you look at the Sunday videos, especially like behind the scenes, there's a bit of a different storytelling vibe going on in them. Like there's thought out filmmaking and scripting and direction in those behind the scenes. And those behind the scenes are basically stories in and of themselves that are concept based and focused on like what those Corridor shorts are doing. And that's been really invigorating. And now like in the past 2 months, we had Camera on a Bee, we had Gray Matter, Quiet Place with Farts, Tiny Guns. And then next week we have the Portal. The time
How
traveling
much do
portal.
people know about the portal thing?
I don't think people know anything about this Portal video.
Other than like a brand deal where we showed the set off.
Yeah,
and
you can
people
see
were
like
what?
the portal gun in the
Yeah.
background.
You can see a little bit in the moon video too.
Yeah, and I'll tell more about that in a second here. But you know, NeoRev here in the chat pulled up an interesting thing, which is like, well, you know, if you guys could hire an extra person to help out with some of these things and give you guys more free time, like, you know, he's like, they're saying like, you know, they'd gladly support, you know, a second tier on the website. But yeah, that's the thing is, then somebody else is trying to make your vision.
Yeah.
And that's what happens is it just becomes you spending all your time being a middleman to playing a game of telephone to communicate your idea versus just doing it yourself. And there's just been a big realization, especially in the world of filmmaking, especially now with technology as it is, it's a do-it-yourself world.
Oh, yeah.
It is no longer a world of like, oh, I have this crazy idea for a building exploding, but I don't know how to do it. I'm going to have to ask somebody else to make it. Well, that's how it was when you had really specialized people. But with every year that passes, it's becoming more and more, I guess, approachable as the person making the video to just do everything in the video. Like Gray Matter, I basically set out to do everything in the video. I didn't. Other people helped out with the video, but it was.
You're talking the short film.
The short film. But that's one of those things where it's like, if other people didn't help out, I could still buckle down and just do it myself if I had to. And it really helps with communicating ideas and just, you know, having a piece that feels like it's made by an artist as opposed to just like a content generation machine. And like every single project that's been coming out on Corridor across the board for everybody has had that vibe right now. And it's super cool. But that's what we realized, you know, last year, like when Corridor was huge and we had all these people working here, I personally was spending so much time just trying to communicate with everybody that I wasn't making stuff. And
you're being the CEO.
I was being the CEO.
Being the manager. I had a conversation with Tom Scott earlier this year, right after he like retired.
Oh, yeah.
We hung out for a few hours in Santa Monica, and he was saying that like he didn't want to become the manager. He didn't want to scale up his channel. I mean, he was already making videos every single week for 10 straight years,
Oh
but
my God.
That was on top of various other things he was doing. He could have easily been able to hire out a team to be able to produce more content, to be able to scale up a lot like, say, Linus Tech Tips. I think he's probably like the biggest example of like a YouTuber who scaled up into an entire empire.
He's amazing.
Lasted.
They built is amazing, yeah.
But like, you know, Tom didn't want to be the manager. He didn't want to like go down that route. And so he specifically always held back and just, he didn't want to do that. So he eventually got to a point where he's like, I'm just going to not do anything now.
Yeah, because once
he's
you're
going to
doing
come
that,
back at some point, maybe next year.
Yeah, then you're not connected to what you got into it for in the first place. Like, you want to make videos.
And Niko, I think that's what you're saying is that like you started getting to a point where it's like, all right, one day my week is on React, another day is doing these various other things. You know, a couple days of the week is just meetings and ideation, brainstorming, and just overseeing what's going on, but not actually doing the creating, not actually doing the work yourself. And that is unfulfilling.
It is unfulfilling.
I think it's an important thing to note that burnout is not directly the result of working too hard.
Right.
You can work really, really hard and it doesn't lead to burnout. I mean, I on the final week of the Moon video, I literally worked 70 hours that week and I enjoyed it.
It can be energizing if you're inspired.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I felt about Gray Matter too. Like I was doing the same thing. I was working weekends on it. Like every show I was like, yeah, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
You know?
Burnout usually comes from like the combination of like the dissatisfaction of not enjoying what you're doing. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but like when you're not getting the sort of rewarding element for the effort you're putting into it.
I think for me, it's like curiosity is a driving factor. I'm always like, it's like, what's a new factor? What's a new way to tell a story, a new tool or a new format, a new story. And then if we're making the same kind of thing over and over, that's where I feel burnout. You know, if there's nothing new to discover in the process and it's like, I'm just going to be punching the inputs in, that's where I start feeling it, you know? So it's just got to mix it up.
Gotta mix it up.
You got to mix that salad.
Yeah. So, you know, at this point now, you know, we found this groove and we found this energy and now we're making consistent Corridor videos again. And that feels great. And Corridor Crew feels like it's consistently releasing really interesting projects right now. And that feels great. And that's kind of it. Like we're super simple. We're super focused. We're focused on just making videos and making the best videos we can.
And I gotta say, I think the videos we've been releasing this year have been really good.
They have been. I agree. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Corridor. So internally we have our React VAR, Visual Effects Artists React, even if it's not VAR, stuntmen React, animators React, whatever. It's all React.
The React
internally, that's what we call it. And then we have our Sunday videos, or as we call them, our crew videos. But Sunday videos work too. And our Sunday videos usually would underperform against React. You know, we'd have 800,000, 700,000, 900,000 people watch React. 500, 600,000 people watch a Sunday video. Every once in a while, a Sunday video would pop and go bigger.
Like a magic crystal.
Like a magic crystal one. But the past 2 or 3 months here, if we don't count the demonetized safety videos.
Oh,
video.
dang, I forgot about that.
We were on a streak of 1 million views per Corridor Crew video, per Sunday video. And that safety video would have hit 1 million views too. It was on that same trajectory as everything else.
And you say 1 million views. What do you mean? Is that like some sort of like
I mean, it is
goalpost for us?
It is, but it's an arbitrary number at the end of the day. Like it's not that much more than 999,000 views.
Yeah, but it's a clean milestone.
Yeah.
It is a clean milestone. And there's something, we live in a world of people, right? At the end of the day, why do your views matter? Well, because there's a person somewhere at another company who's going to give you a brand integration based on a number. And when they see that clean 1M, that sounds a lot bigger than 900K.
Yeah.
And
it's the whole reason why stuff is $14.99 instead of $15.
Yep. And also for us, like it shows that we're reaching a bigger audience. We're connecting with more people, and people are enjoying our work. And it's a sign that we're doing the right thing. And it's been really cool to see us have that consistency and have that like consistent success again. It reaffirms like why we're here and what we're doing, and we still got it. But
still a lot of work though.
Still a lot of work. And there is one thing in all this, which is the website, CorridorDigital.com. Mm-hmm. Because, as far as our company goes, we have 3 main sources of revenue. We have just our normal YouTube ad revenue, the ad that plays that, skip 5 seconds in and you watch our video. So that's one chunk of revenue for the business. The other chunk of revenue for the business is our brand integrations, the Squarespace ad reads and that kind of stuff. And then the third pillar of our business in terms of revenue is the website. The website back in the day replaced our Patreon, and it's grown to be bigger than that. But in the past year, with our simplification and our refocusing on just making videos, the website suffered in that it wasn't getting a Son of a Dungeon, season 3. It wasn't getting the consistent crew cuts. Daniel was working on Corridor videos now, and we did try some things. We did try loaded questions, which was kind of like an interview based, taking a picture kind of thing.
Yeah,
led by
Jonah. Jonah did an amazing job.
Yeah, those are like TV episodes.
Yeah, like the episode with you, Nick, is fantastic. The Real Coco CEO is fantastic. Zach King was gracious enough to join us as a guest on an unproven website exclusive show, which is amazing that he would do something like that and take the time out of his day to do that. But the reality is that at the end of the day, not a lot of people tuned into it. Yeah. If 10% of the website subscriber base watches the show, it's just, we should make something else. That's what it told me. Is we should make something else. It's just didn't have the pull. It doesn't mean that the show is bad, but different audiences want different things. And so, I realized that loaded questions, it's not really why people sign up for CorridorDigital.com. Now you also have like dailies and crew cuts and the vlogs, and some people did sign up for the vlogs, and I love the vlogs. But maybe to me, what the vlogs really are is it's just the raw life of Corridor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like these podcasts cover a lot of that as well. And if they're not more insightful than actually a vlog would be. But kind of the same, I had that same reaction to dailies, in that like dailies is cool, but he's even more raw than the crew cuts videos. And once again, it's like, why are people signing up? It's like, why are people here at CorridorDigital.com? It's like, it's because we make cool videos, and they want us to make more cool videos. And if I'm not participating and helping those cool videos get made on CorridorDigital.com, it's like, why is this website here? Why are people even getting what they want in the first place? And so for that to happen, for that to be renewed, I first needed to get back into making videos. I need to be shooting Corridor videos. We need to simplify. We need to refocus. So all that's starting to happen again, which is great. And then, the website, it was like, well, if all that's happening, what do we have here? Well, we have people that love what we do at Corridor. They want to see more of it. So now we're we're doing more of these live streams. Sam's been launching this live stream series. He's been doing it every week. This is probably news to a lot of people because Sam kept it kind of on the down low while he was doing it. Because, he was learning as a soft launch, all that kind of stuff. But every week now, Sam's been sitting down, picking a project that we just worked on and doing a deep dive into like the visual effects or the other crazy stories he had around, shooting it, which covers a lot of like those behind the scenes stories that you'd get, but don't really get anymore because they don't just do raw vlog behind the scenes. Yeah. And that's been super cool to see that happen. And then now we're also bringing back the CorridorCast and doing live on the website with live chat with our subscribers on the website, which is also awesome. So we're bringing back these ways to like really connect with us and to be part of like the weekly happenings at Corridor, to like know to the day what's going on. And like, because we don't have corporate overlords here, because we're a completely independent company, we can tell you guys about whatever project we're working on whenever we want. Like we don't
except for that one project and that other project that we
dude.
We're not allowed to talk about this project.
I can't talk about those ones.
But seriously, we can talk about anything we want at any time. And it's like I don't really have like a preciousness about I got to keep this secret till it comes out.
Well, I mean, because some of that is like we started realizing perhaps that we weren't providing enough value for the website subscribers, and so we realized that streaming is something that we can totally do. And I would like to actually do even more than what we're planning on currently doing. We got Sam streams, we got the crew cuts. Sorry, not crew cuts. We got the CorridorCast. And I would like to actually do additional live streams, like my own weekly live stream that's like every Monday or every Tuesday or something like that. We'll see. This is all we're still figuring out how to do all this with our voices at the correct pitch. And
that's a big one too, is getting the voices right.
Yeah. I'm on it.
We have to get rest of life. We have to get the rest of life corrected to this pitch that we're currently in.
Honestly.
But I mean, one of the elements from the vlogs though, that the live stream and the CorridorCast can't really cover is just the sort of shenanigans we'd get up to, like the holy sack that is still stuck on our ceiling somehow after 2 years of just throwing it up and it got stuck one day and it's never come down. We do kind of miss that. Or rather, and when I say we do kind of miss that, I mean like we don't do that anymore.
A live react with member submissions, that'd be interesting.
That would be really interesting. This whole live stream idea, I think, is
That's
maybe
cool.
the solution to bridging the gap between exclusive, raw, behind the scenes and also expenditure of time and resources for the actual team,
and open communication with the audience,
because it's like if you have a person like, so we film a bunch of stuff for a vlog, but then it takes an editor a week to make that video and put out. Well, okay, now we have a finite number of editors and we now have dedicated an entire week for this one video that may just be okay. It may be a good video, but may not get enough views to actually pay for itself. Because at the end of the day, this is a business. We can't just be bleeding money. Otherwise, we'll not be making any videos at a certain point.
We still like to make videos.
Got to be
in general.
sustainable.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that we'll never have exclusive shows or anything like that on the website. Though I do want to talk about. All right, so the artist conundrum. I was talking to Wren about this a little bit earlier. All right, so you're making videos. You put a lot of work and a lot of money into something. And you finish it and it's awesome. And what do you want? You want as many people to see it as possible. Yeah. But if you just show it to everybody, then you don't make any money and you can't pay for the fact that you made this thing. And so this is the exclusives conundrum where it's like you do something that's really special and really cool, but then you end up having to like lock it in a box and charge people money to come see it. And, part of me dreams of a world where everybody that like supports us on CorridorDigital.com, it's almost like an open source software initiative where it's like, release the software for free to everybody, release the videos for free to everybody, but we're just here because we're going to help you guys make it. We're your patrons. We're going to fund it. We're going to get it out there, but it doesn't need to be exclusive. Everybody can see it. That'd be super cool. We're not in that world, that we don't exist in that world. Yeah. But that is a thing that like I constantly have to fight myself with when it comes to like talking about exclusives and trying to figure this out. And I think when it comes to the website, like what we have right now is I want to bring people the best videos we can. And I want to interact with people on the website a lot more. Like this is our chance to talk to you guys. Yeah. It's our chance for you to talk to us. It's our chance for us to like give you unedited, like unpolished, like going ons of what's happening. And I want to start with that and like, and go from there. Yeah. Here's a question, both for, website subscribers and just, YouTube podcast listeners. If we did Son of a Dungeon Season 3, but Son of a Dungeon Season 3 didn't have the really high effort cinematic visual effects cut-ins and it was just gameplay on the table, how would you guys feel about that? How would you guys feel about that?
Well, for me, it's the same experience. Kind of. That's not true. Yeah, because the thing about Son of a Dungeon is that, like, not only was it such a huge production and it took so much time and so many different editors, like we had Carmichael editing on that, we had Austin full-time editing on that and doing various other things. And Sam, that was basically the only thing he did for the
like
whole
Sam's
year.
whole year.
Seriously. It shut down the whole studio kind of like Son of a Dungeon.
And we made a really cool thing. Like
so
Son of a
sweet.
Dungeon Season 1 and 2. Season 2 was far larger, but like they were legitimately good. but it was also at the cost of not being able to create YouTube videos. Like Sam wasn't able to really like do that sort of thing. And so the rest of us had to kind of like fill that void. And, you know, there's like, what's the word for that? Like the opportunity cost or whatever.
Yeah.
Opportunity cost. Yeah. Sam wasn't making any crew videos, wasn't making any corridor videos. It was just Son of a Dungeon. Not saying that, you know, Son of a Dungeon was not worth it or anything like that, but
of course.
But it sucks a ton of time away from other things. And
but
of course,
something that is more producible is just like literally we're just going to film the game and it's just that's going to be what it is. We're not focusing on doing any of the really, really awesome recreations.
Here's what we do. We just hire an Unreal artist to be in there real time, moving around our digital avatars and pumping out 6 shots.
yeah.
And then you stream that live.
And I'm seeing comments, you know, some people are like, no, it's the visual effects that made it special. And I don't disagree.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of a half split here.
Yeah, I'm
Some
seeing
people
a
are-
50-50 around here.
And these are the kind of like hard decisions that we have to think about all the time here. You know, what are you passionate about? What can you put your time into as an artist that you're going to be able to see through to the end?
Yeah.
But also, what does the audience care about? And like, what really matters at the end of the day? And when is that crazy visual effects shot worth the time? And when is it not worth the time? Yeah, it's every day you're asking yourself these questions.
It's that effort, reward cost. But like this conversation, it's like Son of a Dungeon season 3 could happen based on this conversation. It's like,
Yeah, maybe.
do you not, well, like just as this is just hypothetical, but
Yeah.
do you not make a show because it's going to take so much VFX resources, or do you just scale it back and make it? So I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, the whole conversation about Son of a Dungeon kind of took me off guard because we haven't talked about this.
Yeah, I know, it's out of the blue.
Like this
but
is not in our game plan at
I
all.
think it's a
currently.
great example though for the exclusive conversation though, because it was like very high effort. You know,
Yeah.
it was the most polished exclusive we did.
Yeah, because
Definitely.
filming the intro, like the cinematics of Son of a Dungeon was 2 weeks straight filming.
Dude.
That's 2 React episodes that we don't film. That's 2 crew videos that we don't film. That's 4 videos. That's a lot of videos that we're missing just
and that
because
was just for our time
to film on
and
the green
to film
screen.
all this stuff, not including the months of editing.
Yeah, pre-production.
Would you
editing,
guys?
VFX.
Would you guys like to make a 3rd season? Like,
Oh, of
is
course.
that-
I mean,
yeah.
I'd be super
Yeah.
down to do another season of
Yeah.
Son of a Dungeon. I've definitely learned that like role-playing games like that are not really my cup of tea.
Really?
Like it's okay. I enjoyed the hell out of doing Son of a Dungeon, don't get me wrong, but I think that type of game is not the sort of game my brain prefers, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense. I don't like inventory management or trying to keep track of how many spells or all that stuff when it's all like I don't. It's,
Wren just wants to run free, man.
Dude, yeah,
He
I
doesn't
just want to
roll.
be in a Rocket League match shooting arrows at a ball.
Yeah.
I know which game you're talking about.
Ooh, getting some
That was my
dropping-
entire last
dropping
week. I
some
played
knock.
the
Playing a
VR
lot of
game
Knock.
called
He's not
Knock
playing
every single
Elden
night
Ring.
for the last week.
Yeah.
Except for the last couple nights I took a break.
Wren and I have been getting into volleyball matches, and the nice thing about volleyball is you have a serve. So it starts off, ball's in the air, talk shit to the other player, then you serve. Hopefully you spike the ball and land it. And it has that rhythm over and over. It's great. Yeah.
With the 10 concurrent players on that game currently.
We have a habit
Yeah.
of like when we're playing video games, like Freddie will join once in a while, and like we have a habit of like Freddie getting introduced to a game at like the worst possible
Oh
time.
my God, dude.
like Freddie, come play Knock, and Freddie doesn't have
Knock.
very good VR motion sickness. Like withstand, what's the term I'm looking for? He doesn't withstand VR motion sickness very well, so he has to take Dramamine before he
Oh
plays.
my God, what? I
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
So
that's not an abnormal thing.
Yeah,
A
but
lot
he
of people do that.
I
he
mean,
loves gaming, so he's like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna get in VR
yeah.
with you guys tonight. Let's do it. And so, all right, we're gonna play Knock, Rocket League, basically in VR, except you have a bow and arrow to shoot the ball rather than
Really
you hit it with a car.
underrated game.
It's very cool.
And we had 5 of us.
NOCK. We had
Yeah.
5 of us, yeah. So we had
Because
5 of us.
you, me, Jan, D, and Freddie.
Yep.
But in this game, you can only play like 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, but there's 5 of us. So we couldn't even like be in the same party. So we had to like match make and we timed it up so
And we're
we
like,
could
Freddie,
get into the same party.
you'll love this game. Here, we just got to find one rando to join us. You'll love this game. It's great. We're going to get into it, all right?
Yeah.
So-
and Freddie's like, okay, this is my first time playing this game. I got through the little opening tutorial of the menu and now I'm joining the game with us.
Yeah. So we start a game. We look for matchmaking. One person joins. And the person that joins is the #1 ranked player in the world at Knock.
His name is Chazbaz.
When he comes in, the ball serves up in the air, and this is we're playing the soccer mode now. And he hits it with his arrow and proceeds to go. "Tup, tup, 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 tup." and hit it with every single arrow until it goes into the goal. Nobody can touch it.
Bouncing it off the ceiling and then accelerating it into the goal.
And every single arrow just tick, 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 tick.
We all just started laughing because there was nothing we could do. D and I were on his team, and we started trying to play against him. It was 1v5, and he destroyed us. It was literally like 15-0.
Yeah, none of us could even touch the ball. And it wasn't like, oh, he's knocking it out of the way. It's like, no, he would just line drive it into the goal every single time. And it's like, so Freddie, this is the game. This is the game we were out trying to introduce you to.
I can't even hit the
Maybe
thing.
next game you'll be able to, touch the ball. Yeah.
And then a couple nights ago, we were playing Windlands 2. And I hadn't played much of the game, but I had a good handle on how to play and was getting through it. And I joined your multiplayer session where we're towards the end of the game, and we're in this big boss fight.
Yeah.
And then Freddie's like, can I play?
And so he comes in for this big boss fight. Turns out it's the last boss of the game, the end. So he comes in for his first time playing the game, plays the final boss, game ends. And we're like, trust us, Freddie. These games are great. Knock is good. Windlands 2 is amazing.
He's like, I
Trust
don't know,
us.
guys. I don't know about this whole VR thing.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Making me want to get another VR setup.
Yeah, you had the Quest 3 and you sold it.
No, I had a Quest 2.
Oh, it was a Quest 2.
Because I want to get a Quest 3. And
Quest
I was
3
like,
is
That's
real good.
really nice.
but
It's
like,
real
no
good.
one was playing VR. So I was like, okay.
Oh, I
And-
took quite a bit of time off. I didn't touch it all for a while.
It's
But
funny.
now I've just been really back into it.
Yeah.
Swarm is another really fun game.
Swarm.
Yeah, it's a lot like Windlands, but you got like rapid fire guns and there's robots everywhere, like swarms of robots, and you're just like blowing them all up with your guns.
Swarms, you say?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so got back into VR about a week or two ago. Been doing a lot of that.
And this all relates back to the website.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got onto that tangent, but
I mean, dude, just stream your VR games. There you go.
I've thought about doing it. Back in the day, I used to like actually do a call to action. Like I'd throw it up on Instagram or Twitter or whatever and be like, hey, I'm about to play Beat Saber multiplayer. Here's my room code if you want to come play.
I mean,
And
do
that
you
was a
guys
lot of
think
fun. I used to play with a lot of people.
There would be a gaming opportunity on the website? Because I like to play video games.
Well, here's the thing. We start running back into the same issue we always had, which is what are we here to do?
Yeah.
It's one thing to do a podcast.
Yeah.
It's another thing to like, let's live stream our gameplay. It's like, well, now, because here's the other
Then
thing.
you have to actually
when
deliver.
you have a team, when you have lots of people at work, it's one thing for one person to play video games for half an hour. It's a half an hour of somebody's time. It's another thing for 10 people to play games for half an hour. That's a whole day's worth of somebody's work. It just went disappeared. And there's only 5 days in a week, so they go quick. But I think that the theme, generally speaking, is focus. These days, it's focus. We're focused on making the best videos we can, and we're focused on making videos, and that's where it is. We just want to make the best videos we can. Right now, they're pretty much all going on YouTube. But what we can do here right now on the website is we can connect, and we can talk, and we can deep dive. We can do these live streams. We can do the podcasts. And this will evolve. It will definitely evolve. I know there's like this little PP points. What do we do with these producer points?
Oh, the producer points.
Actually, they're not PP points. They're just P points.
PPs.
P points equal PPs.
It's like an ATM machine.
Yeah. Pen number.
P points or
An AT
PPs.
machine.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. So
You were saying you wanted people to be able to contribute and fund projects, right?
I really like the idea of what they're supposed to be, which is everybody's contributing money to this website. And, we're a company making videos. Wouldn't it be cool if the people that are subscribed get to like say where they want their subscriptions to go? Like, wouldn't it be cool if I could tell Netflix to stop spending my subscription money on like 90 Day Fiance? Like spend it on stuff that I actually care about.
And that's why, Son of a Dungeon got made. It was the highest voted thing, like right off the bat. And it's like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
Yep. So super cool. Let's give it a shot, So we build the website, we launch it, we include that. Problem is, we're not Netflix. We don't have huge teams of people making stuff. And as we tried to build these teams, it got to a point again where it's like, well, like let's say I want to make tactical reloads or I want to make wizard cops. Okay, it's going to be a series of the website. I'm looking at months and months and months of work. Months where I'm not on the React couch. Months where I'm not doing Corridor Crew videos. And I start to wonder about, will our YouTube channel really start to suffer?
Yeah.
Will our YouTube channel potentially die? And, let's say I get the show out on the website. It does great. People watch it. Awesome. But after that, if the YouTube channel's dead, then the website's going to die. Yeah. And that's the end of everything.
That's a hard balance to strike.
It's a really hard balance to strike.
A lot of future thinking.
a balanced middle point, though. I think you can strike it where maybe these points don't go to funding things immediately. Maybe it's more of like, 3 ideas for Corridor shorts instead. Not a whole series, something that's, that is doable. Like, because nothing worse than, having something crowdfunded and then not being able to pull it off. Like, for everyone involved, that sucks.
Also, it's like when I come up with an idea I want to pursue, I just want to do it.
Exactly.
I don't want to like wait to see if someone else wants to approve it. Like and so also there's a degree of we just don't know what we're doing.
It
like
changes so much.
We don't know what to do with the producer points to a degree. It's like, and so we're trying different things. We tried you can use your producer points to vote on which thing we're gonna look at on React.
Yeah.
And we did that once. It was Dracula versus this building collapse from How I Met Your Mother, and everyone chose the Dracula shot. So now that just means that the shot that I was excited about, we're not gonna react to.
Yeah.
That's what that turned into. So now I had this whole thing that I'd researched, and it's like, well, I'm just gonna put this off to the side, and we'll probably look at that again at some point, or look at it at all at some point.
I think Virtual Steve has the right idea.
What do you say?
Yeah, Virtual
Steve says integrate the points into the live
That's cool.
stream like a super chat. That's actually something we did talk about this week.
Yep. Yeah, we don't want to completely get rid of the producer points, because I like the idea of having something to like kind of play with on the website, something to interact with. And it's also a great way for us to kind of see what people are into as well.
Someone else here, Untilt, why don't you prompt the subscribers for ideas and then we vote on the ideas?
We did that.
That then puts us in the position of making stuff that you're not excited about. It's exciting to make something for you guys that you really want to see, but
also it takes a lot of effort to develop an idea to the point that it's like, all right, this is something that we can make.
Yeah.
Right.
You have no idea how often we'll have like brainstorming sessions and we'll have like 100 different ideas, but like only a few of them excite us, and also only a few of them are reasonable. Like it's a bunch of boxes you got to tick for an idea to be worth producing for a crew video. It's like, it's got to be something we're excited about, and it has to have like, it's got to be a good idea that we think people would want to watch. And a lot of the time we'll come up with ideas that it's like, that's a fun idea, but that's like a fun, like 1 minute sketch, the end.
Yeah. Or just, developing an idea, but like, this could be a Corridor video. This is good enough to be our Corridor crew video. Developing 3 of those, it's like, well, now I've developed 3 Corridor crew videos. I just want to make all 3 of them.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that like, when you get to that point of like, all right, this is an idea we could make. It's like, then let's just make it. As opposed to shelving. It's a lot of extra work that's unnecessary, in my opinion, to like try to come up with ideas to pitch to you guys to decide what. I mean, I've got a list of ideas that are not developed at all that at some point I'd like to do.
And also, like, to be honest, a lot of the stuff that we proposed, like tactical reloads, dubstep guns, wizard cops, those things are all probably still going to happen as a Corridor video at some point here. Like, Sam and I have a script for wizard cops that we wrote a few months ago. Yeah. Shoot it in a weekend. Tanner's down to come back. Sam had to finish up tiny guns and all this kind of other stuff. Like, we want to shoot it.
We just got stretched a little too thin.
Yeah.
And a hilarious script for dubstep guns.
Yep.
Too.
Which we'll probably rewrite again. But once again, it's like, we'll probably shoot a dubstep guns also, but all these things will probably take on the form of a more relaxed Corridor video where it's like we can shoot it in 1 to 2 to 3 days and we can finish it in 3 to 4 to 5 weeks at most. We're trying to avoid committing ourselves to like an entire television series worth of like media to produce when our team is, basically 10 people right now. So that's 10 people to producing a whole series while also keeping a YouTube channel live is almost impossible. And then like you also run into the dichotomy of marketing is kind of dead in general. And also we don't market, right? We built our audience. We reached out to people from either word of mouth and people sharing our stuff to other people that think would like it, or like the YouTube algorithm happening to put our videos out in front of things. And if we're not making videos that people are talking about, or not putting them out on these free platforms so they can get put in front of people, we no longer have marketing. We no longer have a voice, and we can't reach an audience. And so we can't just go pure website, because then it just becomes a little island and nobody ever discovers it anymore because it's off in the ocean of the internet. So yeah, it's tricky, but it's okay. These are the things that we're here to worry about. You guys just enjoy what we make and, and and let us know what you think and, subscribe on the website if you can. I mean, everybody here is obviously subscribed. I can't say everybody here. Everybody in the live stream is obviously
We're not going to
subscribed
stop making stuff. I mean, we still haven't gotten Jackie on the couch.
Yeah. Haven't gotten Jackie on the couch.
And also just know that we are trying our best. We are trying our best to do everything we can to make good videos and make consistent content because that's what we love doing. And it is also our business and we don't want to go out of business. So we are trying our best to make sure that we are providing value to the people who watch our stuff.
Yeah.
And we just lately kind of came to the realization that maybe we're not providing enough value to the website subscribers. So we've been trying to rethink that approach. Everything is, hey, I don't know if you know this, but most people in life have no idea what they're doing in life. We have an idea, but we're all always trying to iterate and figure out what that is.
Yeah. I did have an idea for the producer points that we were talking here. We could live stream our Smash games and have people bet on us.
That is amazing.
That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
That's interesting. I think, wasn't that an idea that started popping up the last tournament we had or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Stephen Castier asked, and we were talking about this, somewhere to post posts or a forum.
Yeah.
A little bit more commenting and
was it Niko, you mentioned that having some sort of
a wall
update page on the website?
I think the website definitely needs a little bit more of an engagement twist to it. There's a few things that I'd like to have. Most notably, I'd like to have notifications. Like if I make a comment, I'd like to be notified if someone responds to that comment. I'd like for someone else to be notified if I responded to their comment. I think that would really incentivize comments on the website, period. I would check it more often. And I think just being able to make posts that we could all just make posts, I think would be a fun thing to do. Having maybe a little bit of a forum, but again, it's all right, now it's going to require, funding to make those things a thing. Because we're not the ones who built the website. That's Scott and his whole team.
Yeah, so there's a development process and delay that we need to wait for and implement these things. But, we're trying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying. And so we are also always open to ideas, Yeah. We're, if you have any ideas for ways to utilize the PPs or
what's up, Nat?
anything, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Xbot. Question to Niko, for example, Wizard Cops. What is the problem to make a new episode? Is it writing the script, producing, or do you not feel excited by it?
Oh man, schedule.
Let's assume that we're excited by something. Let's assume that we like it. And let's say we've written a script. So the big thing that holds up a project is people, especially if you need actors. So Wizard Cops, we wanted to bring Tanner back. So, okay, you gotta reach out for Tanner. What's his schedule like? He lives in Atlanta now. You get that coordinated. Okay, so you can do this weekend here. You can do this weekend next month. You can do this weekend next month. So that's step one. It's just figuring that out. Step two is then going, okay, well, now we need to coordinate the production. We need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do this. Cool. So that's just work. That's just timing. Then you need to think about, okay, so Wizard Cops. It's a cool idea. How do we not just take a huge money loss on this video, right?
Yeah.
Well, if it's going on the Corridor channel, there's not going to be really a brand integration unless we can sell one. So we could try to sell a brand integration against it. Or is there a cool Corridor crew video that we can come up with that pairs with Wizard Cops? It's let's try that. Well, come up with a good idea that 1 million people want to watch. That's a video about Wizard Cops. That's not Wizard Cops. It's okay, that'll take a little time in development. So that's the process, and that, keep in mind, this is happening while also every week we're shooting React and also making other Corridor crew videos and also running this company and all this other kind of stuff. So that's, we're talking about weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And then it finally happens. Now you need to wait for the schedules to align. They align, then you can shoot it. So, it'll probably happen. Once again, we have a script written. It's a shootable video. It's a Corridor video. It'll work. But it's just a matter of waiting until everything lines up. Because Sam's out for 2 weeks right now, back in Minnesota. I'm going to be out for my camping trip in the Boundary Waters.
I'm going to Burning Man.
I'm going to Hawaii.
Yeah, August is going to be a little bit of a shakeup.
Yeah.
A lot of summer vacations
We've adopted
going on.
European Augusts here in Corridor.
Yeah. I mean, earlier this year, we kind of struggled because it was Dean was away for 3 months touring
he
Asia,
took a little,
which he
journey.
Deserved, and
Totally.
all that stuff. But it definitely kind of left us a little shorthanded. And then we had other people taking vacations, and it's we're trying to just make as much as we can with the help we have.
Yeah,
Yeah. Why did dailies go away? Well, because Austin is a great editor and we needed him to edit videos. And I worked with him on the Jan Pinky Finger, the Insta360 Canon video. You know, he was my collaborative partner on those ones, and I really enjoyed working with him.
Yeah.
So you didn't get dailies because he was making those videos with me.
Yeah, it's so interesting, like media companies from the outside versus the inside, especially like one like ours. Like, you know, we present ourselves as this big media company, and we are to some extent, especially compared to the other YouTube channels. Like, but at the same time, it's 10 people making all the videos. It's a little bit more than 10 people.
I know, like people like think about Corridor, they're like, oh, they have like all these departments like PR and like, you know, marketing
PR department
and like, you know, like all these, and it's like, no, not really. We're just figuring it out. We're just like, one step at a time here.
The more that we spend our time making videos, the more everybody gets to get what they want from Corridor. It's like the more we spend our time trying to set other things up and produce other things and schedule other things and plan other things, that's less time that we're not just actually making videos. And so it's really just been focused on that.
And I also love like bringing back the making. Like it gives us just more of a purpose like in what we do on the educational side, because it's like half of our stuff's making stuff, half of it's teaching people stuff. It's always better to teach people stuff about what you're making rather than, you know, just commenting on other people's stuff. Like, and I think we did lean into that when we stopped making Corridor videos a while. Like we would make crew videos and be like, why are we making this video?
Yeah.
Why are we showing this technique off?
We're trying, like last year there's a lot of like crew videos about tools. Like check out this new tool that came out. This year we're trying not to make videos about tools. Yeah. We're trying to make videos about ideas.
Yeah.
And what happens when you make a video about a tool? Let's bring up the changing video game faces video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That video was about a tool to a fault. Like it was about a tool that really didn't work that great. Like it worked good, but like
didn't work as well as we thought going into the project.
To us as people who had been stuck with janky face animation forever that didn't look photoreal, this is a huge bump in quality. This is awesome. And everybody else is like, how dare you?
Well, I mean, to be fair,
we marketed it on that tool.
As that,
Yeah,
and we were trying to find.
The problem was the attitude we had in the video and the marketing around it. Like that, we know we messed that up. That was not what we intended, but it definitely made us reflect.
That's also been a funny thing is like, because, you know, as a YouTuber, you're like, you take on that edge of like, I'm going to fix this thing or I'm going to do it better than ILM.
Yeah.
You're just a little YouTuber, right? You're trying to make a shout in this big world of elephants as a little mouse and, you know, get noticed. And then if you do it for too long and maybe you're just too good, then people are like, that's unprofessional. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize I was in that circle now. I will be more humble and professional. Sorry about all that.
That video is actually a fascinating study in everything we've been talking about that we tried to correct this year.
Yeah.
Because that video, there were two things I think coming from the showrunner standpoint, shooting that video and participating in it. I know that we were all just super excited to experiment with this tool. However, there was no video daddy on that video, like one unified creative.
Really?
Running the
I
video.
don't remember that. Wow. Okay.
No, it was like we shot it with one person and then it got handed off to another editor who shot the intro and outro with you, Niko. There's no unified thing. So when you did your intro and outro, you were just flying off whatever you wanted to do. It wasn't really what was in the video. And I think that all came together. And then after the fact, we were sitting around going, how do we market this? You know? and all those things combined led to a video that just pissed people off because it was about this tool only. And we had to get spicy with our marketing. How do we make this tool seem cool? You know,
especially when the tool wasn't that good.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if you come out and you say you're going to fix something, like you're just asking for like.
And we deserved it. We deserved the hate we got on that one.
Totally. But every fail you have to reflect on it. And I think hopefully all these systems we have now, it's like we have unified direction. We're using the tools for making something creative.
Third, that was also a video that came out from like, we got to put out a video this weekend.
Yes, exactly.
This is something we can do really
we've
easily.
been talking about. That video, everything we've been talking about, that video suffered from, I think. And it created this stain kind of like on like, okay, how do we correct and have a better attitude about these tools, you know? So I don't know. I learned a lot from that and how it was perceived. So
yeah,
I don't see it as like a total loss, honestly.
I also forgot we also had that whole side project with Netflix, the Punch for Punch thing.
Dude, what? How haven't we even talked about that?
Punch for Punch was great.
that was so
a big
fun,
part of our last couple of years.
Yeah.
But also that was a real like side production. That was like we were bringing in crew and everyone else's resources. Me and Matt and Niko especially were being pulled for that.
So it was the same sort of situation as with Son of a Dungeon, where it's like we're making a really cool thing, but it is technically eating into our ability to make what we came out here to make, which is make cool YouTube videos for our own channel.
So as we reach the end of this podcast here, we've been talking a lot about the future of Corridor and CorridorDigital.com and all that kind of stuff. So here's a question. Should we change the Corridor channel's name to Corridor Digital?
Change it back?
Change it back, or should we keep it Corridor?
Let's just keep it Corridor for now.
All right, we'll keep it Corridor for now. All right, discussion over.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I get it.
I mean, we could change it back. Would it change anything? I don't know.
It's a good question.
Most people don't know that channel exists anyway, despite having 10 million subscribers.
I want to be like a fly in the wall with like somebody who's an avid Corridor crew watcher, and they discover that we have a Corridor channel for the first time, and it has like double the amount of subscribers that Corridor crew has.
Well, we have seen that where it's like people on the crew channel will be like, wait, I used to watch all of the Corridor Digital videos back in the day. I had no idea you guys are the same people.
Well,
yeah. We are so close to 10 million subscribers. And I know it's, once again, totally arbitrary, but like...
Diamond button.
I want those 10 million subscribers on Corridor.
We're
so
close. We're very close.
We're so close. Man. But it's like subscribers are being like, I hope we get 10 million before YouTube just turns off subscriptions altogether.
They unofficially have.
Yeah, I know. We're very close. At least it's still a tab on the app.
That they've buried a little bit.
Change it to BAMO.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a classic.
Change it to BAMO.
Deep
Oh
cut.
my
That's a deep
God.
cut
That's
right
a
there,
12-year-old
Morgan knows
deep
what's
cut. Dang.
I was with Mr. Guitarman during the memo days. That's way
wow,
back.
okay.
That's way back.
I personally would like to do more live streams because one of the things that I've put a lot of focus in over the last few years is all these scale videos. Not all of them are like true scale, but they're all like the Wren high effort video, right? There's never behind the scenes for any of those. I never get to talk about like what went into making those because every single time there's so many different things that get left on the cutting room floor or like ideas that I had like researched and looked into, but that ultimately didn't fit the video or, various things like that. Some cool, really fun things and like the visual effects that went into it that no one will ever know about. So I'm hoping maybe like to utilize a live stream to kind of talk about some of those.
I think that'd be great.
Videos.
I would love to see that.
I think that would be cool too.
Yeah,
like there's
that'd be
other
sweet.
stuff going on in the studio that could be streamed. Like it's just like everyone's always working on cool stuff around the studio. Like maybe pop open a stream once in a while and just follow their process.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we start bringing back, occasional like weekly vlog to the website where somebody just busts out their phone and films. But not yet. Right now, we're still in the phase of like focusing and finding ourselves again. Because we do have to do that every so often.
I do want to try that out. Like literally next time we're making a short film, just film on my phone.
Yeah.
Pop it in, spend an hour cutting it up. And that could maybe be a solution to the vlog thing.
Yeah.
Because there definitely is the effort versus, views that it gets. And we've talked about it.
It's the value proposition.
Exactly. So if there's a way we can solve that, I would love to bring some sort of vlog back, at least temporary, like every once in a while, an update,
Yeah.
Speaking of value propositions, you hear that Future Motion is not going to live stream Race for the Rail this year?
Yeah, I did see that.
Really?
Yeah, I saw your post about that.
Why?
They don't see the value proposition of it anymore. They have a live stream going out to like 3,000 people, and they're spending probably $200,000 or $300,000 at a minimum on that event. So this year they're like, all right, instead of live streaming it, we're going to put all of our focus into making sure we can get like intimate, up close action with all the racers and actually tell a really good story about the race. Cause that video is probably going to get a couple hundred, if not more, thousand views.
Getting a well edited race video would be super cool.
Yeah. And their argument is that they can't do that while also live streaming. And I understand it, but at the same time, I think it is a mistake. I think I don't know. I wish,
There's a certain legitimacy. It's like having your McDonald's in Times Square. It's like you're not making any money off the McDonald's in Times Square. Like the fact they still have to charge like $2 for a hamburger, they're not making any money. But you have the McDonald's in Times Square. That's what you need, It's like some things are there as a signal.
Well, Wren, you're experiencing what maybe people in the audience are experiencing. It's like, you're like, I feel like they're taking a step back, but really they're trying to figure it out and optimize, behind the scenes.
And I'm very understanding of it. I just think that not having it streamed at all and have people still excited about finding out who wins. So here's what's going to happen. They either spend a day or two to make this video so that people only have to wait a day or two to find out who wins the race by watching the whole thing, but then that's probably going to result in not a great video. A video that you make in a day for an event like that is not going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but you need to put more time into a video, at least a week or two, at least for a video like that to be any good and worth watching, I think. And I think it's unreasonable to expect me to stay out of the news to find out who won the race for a whole week.
Yeah,
so now I'm going to probably know by the end of the day, if not immediately, who won the race and the standings of all that stuff. But that fundamentally changes going into that video what it's going to be like because I know who wins.
I would tune in.
That was my favorite thing every year. Was just like seeing this live, seeing these races live. Because that's the whole thing about a sporting event is no one knows what's going to happen because it is live.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that changes this year. Yeah.
I miss talking about Onewheels on the podcast with you.
Yeah.
We got some updates.
There's a lot of stuff happening in Onewheel land. You guys missed out a lot of Onewheel news in the past 7 months. I know you guys are all eager for it. That's why you're all here.
Yeah, it's the number one reason why they subscribe to the podcast is to hear about Onewheel news.
We're still wheeling.
Yeah.
Actually, more than ever, really.
Yeah.
We are actually. It's been pretty wonderful, actually, with the new float wheels.
Sharper angles than we've ever been able to.
Sharper and steeper hills than we ever had before.
Dude, I miss that freaking DIY Australian board, the Demon Slayer.
Oh, the Vow.
That was so good.
You mean the Dragon Slayer?
That's what I said. The Dragon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
I just said Demon Slayer.
I thought I said Dragon Slayer.
You said Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to say Dragon Slayer.
Hey,
Upcoming
congrats,
React
Andrew.
episode.
Congrats on your new Onewheel.
Oh, wow.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Be safe, man. Wear a helmet.
Yeah, be safe and don't try to go
Don't
fast.
get cocky and assume that you know what's in front of you.
At 300, so at 100 miles, you'll probably have a crash. And then at 300 miles, you'll have your hardest crash of your
It's
Onewheeling
inevitable.
career. So Christian experienced it. I experienced it. Wren experienced it.
I experience it constantly.
Always wear the wrist guards. Always wear the
wrist guards.
Yep.
Well, cool. I think we should do a one-wheel conversation soon.
We
but
should do a one-wheel convo.
Because the CorridorCast is back.
Yeah.
So how do we want to wrap this up after all those updates? And
So let's take this home. So first off, real quick, to all those who are on the website with us in the chat, we'll do another like 10, 15 minutes after the podcast ends just to hang out and talk for a second. But for all of you listening right now on YouTube or Spotify or wherever, it's really nice to be back.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here with us. To all the website subscribers, thank you so much. You guys are a pillar of our business. You truly enable us to do what we do. We will keep doing these live streams. We're going to keep doing the deep dives, keep these live chats going. It's time to come back to life and make it all happen again. And keep an eye on the Corridor channel. We have a bunch of shorts coming out.
This weekend.
I have a time travel portal short
weekend.
coming out next
the
weekend.
game
Next
portal.
weekend,
Next weekend.
The cake is alive.
if you're watching this replay,
Yeah, if
it's
you're watching
this
this
weekend.
replay, or if you're watching this podcast, it'll be the weekend after this podcast
Yes.
comes out. But I got to use a robot arm for the first time. This is a concept I wrote like 10 years ago, and I just didn't have a way to film it. And then I finally came up with a way to film it. So I'm really excited for that. Going to show everybody that. And then, we have a Gray Matter 2 that we've been writing.
Oh, yeah.
A little follow up to the first one.
Good, yeah.
It involves the concept of darkness and the void and being immaterial when you are not seen.
Gonna need to find a Corridor Crew video to accompany that, though.
I was thinking the Corridor Crew video would be about a muzzle flash light special effect prop.
Right, yeah. I remember you mentioned that.
Yeah, you guys have seen, CG muzzle flashes. You got to either add the light or you need some sort of prop. What if you could build a sound-sensitive bulb that would hang in the air in front of your prop gun? So whenever your airsoft gun made a loud click or bang, because the airsoft guns do that, you could actually have real-time lighting in the scene from that flash.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be super cool. And actually, there's a very specific scene that needs that
Yeah.
in Gray Matter
Yeah.
too.
Well, that's the perfect marriage, I think, right there.
So there's I actually have that one already figured out.
And also, dude, did you hear I'm a good actor now?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, dude, it's
That's
crazy.
right.
Like, I'm just, I found an AI that can make me a good actor.
Oh,
So-
man. Yeah, you and Daniel kind of hit the ground running this week working on that
Yeah,
video.
we've been doing a lot of funny experiments with this new video to video like face retargeting program.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing some stuff with that too.
And I still want to make this Liquid Terminator practical effect video, but getting a hold of a few kilograms of gallium is not easy.
Yeah, we're having
we can't afford
a gallium
it, so we're
shortage.
trying to look for partners on it.
We've been trying to source a big blob of gallium. It's like really expensive and hard to find.
Yeah, we're looking at several $1,000s worth of just gallium.
So if anyone has that hookup, let us know.
Actually, no, I did get an email back. It looks like they might be interested in pursuing.
Ooh,
Yes.
I hit up like 7 different companies.
Cool.
Anyway,
Does
This is how
Guns
it
versus
works, like-
country music, bow and arrows.
Yeah.
Andrew B just dropping banger ideas in the chat. See, this is why we're
shit.
doing it live now, so we can get this. This is great. All right. Well, it's good to be back, everybody. We'll see you again next week on the CorridorCast. All the website subscribers, thank you for joining us. Thank you for everything you do for the company.
it'll probably be
And,
a different day next week, right?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
Maybe.
figure it out.
I mean,
Wednesday.
Sam's out for 2
It might be
weeks.
Wednesday next week that we do the
We don't know
live
yet.
stream. Yeah.
We're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. That's what you guys get to
Classic.
see here. You get to see the rawness, the uncut. This is like sushi, but it's still on the fish.
Hey, the React episode's out.
Hey, the React episode's
So
up.
we're so far ahead on our React editing because we've been so efficient in our scheduling that the episode was banked so long that no one uploaded it.
Wow, is that what happened?
Yeah, everyone was like
I was
moving
about to say,
on
I was
to
like, the
different
video
stuff.
was done.
Yeah, no, it's
We were
been
ready to
done.
go.
Yeah, so sorry about that, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
We're just killing it too hard, I guess.
See you guys later. Thanks
long,
for watching,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks for
for
joining
listening.
CorridorCast. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the CorridorCast. That's right, the CorridorCast podcast is back after a long 7-month hiatus. This episode was recorded live exclusively to our website subscribers and then re-edited and uploaded as a final podcast episode. If you are interested in watching the CorridorCast be recorded live, raw, and unedited, please consider a subscription to corridordigital.com and join in on the conversation. To our website subscribers, thank you so much for supporting us. I'll see you on the next CorridorCast live recording. And to everyone else, I'll see you on the next CorridorCast podcast episode.